Okay, so Lockdown and Loaded Comedy Show. We're bringing you international people, even though the borders are closed. I got to meet this bra in Switzerland, of all places. And you know when you watch Russian movies and there's always a Russian character, this is the most Russian person I've ever met in my entire life. He also happens to be funnier than vodka. Igor Meerson!
Hello, the world. Hello, South Africa. I miss you so much. You just said about our meetings in Switzerland, but you didn't mention the Johannesburg Comedy Festival, the best comedy festival in the world. That's it's not my politeness or something like that. Everywhere in the world where I have kind of an interview, I'm saying that the most warm and the most open audience is
so what was it about? So for those of you that don't know, Igor is huge in Russia. Like, I'm talking top 5 entertainers in the whole country. Does TV, does radio, does competitions, got his own school. The guy does all of it. And for somebody with your presence, somebody with your talent, somebody with your accolade, to say that the Johannesburg International Comedy Festival is your favorite, you've got to tell me, what is it? What is it about our magical South Africa, other than just the warmth?
Well, because one day, I hope, my friend, I hope one day borders will definitely open and I could bring all of my international friends to Russia, so you can get this experience of cold Russian audience. then you'll understand. Then you'll understand why I was so amazed and so happy to perform on your stage. Because in Russia, look, it's not only about climate. It is about climate for sure. We have some friends from Iceland. It's interesting to know what do they think about their audience, because I think the climate is very important. But more than that, we had 70 years of communism, 70 years of very tough structure, tough country, and all the entertainment in Russia was under the censorship and not so open, let's say it like this. And now, even young audience, even young people, we still have this Soviet mentality. We still don't have this. We're not used to have fun all together. We are not used to laugh loud, to express, to show our emotions. We will definitely work on that. Maybe next generation is going to be more funky, but at the moment everything is very. Aren't you talking something inappropriate? Isn't in your, maybe you have in your jobs, you know, we call it like a second hidden meaning, hidden sense. Maybe.
Are these the questions that you get asked?
It's not really questions. It's something in the heads of the audience. You know, this is something that doesn't allow them to laugh loud, because maybe it's not the appropriate thing to laugh about. Maybe someone is watching and it's maybe a little bit dangerous.
So I mean, I think that's fascinating, and something that I think South Africans take for granted is one of my favorite things about South African audiences is our ability to laugh at ourselves, our ability to laugh at our past, our ability to laugh at the different cultures and how those cultures kind of come together. And we've normalized it. And you are right. It's not only Russia. A lot of the world still has those barriers up in terms of, you're not allowed to joke about race. You're not allowed to joke about religion. You're not allowed to joke about where anybody comes from. And I think in South Africa, audiences, as you say, are definitely warmer and more open to that type of thing. Has comedy in Russia, and specifically you in comedy in Russia, do you think that comedy has that role? Because everybody assumes that comedy is the vehicle that can be used to address uncomfortable topics. And maybe something as simple as getting audiences to relax and not take life so seriously. Do you think comedy plays that role?
It is a very good question. Nowadays, this year, it is a very important question, because I truly believe that comedy is a tool to release the tension. For example, you have introduced me as the most Russian person in your world, in your personal world. But just think about that. In fact, I'm not Russian at all. I live in Russia. I'm a Russian person by my culture, by my mentality, because all of my family is living here for several generations. But in fact, I'm a Jewish person. I'm Jewish. As all the great comedians in the world. So I'm a Jewish person, and just recently I had a stand-up routine. I had a material. Unfortunately, I don't know what is the situation in South Africa, but here all the comedy venues are closed still. So the only chance for me to show my new material is my Facebook page. So I'm writing comedian at the moment. So I did my stand-up in a written form by my Facebook. It was shown to my audience, and I mentioned some gray, some tricky points in the world's history and in Jewish history. I mentioned Hitler, Holocaust, and all that stuff. It wasn't offensive at all, because I really feel myself as a part of a Jewish community here in Russia. So it wasn't offensive at all. But I was really, let's say, punished. It's something like that. I was punished by the Jewish community just for mentioning Holocaust and Hitler, not in a funny way, but not in an offensive way at all.
So people don't want to even mention it. You mustn't even talk about it.
Even mention, just don't talk about it. Yeah, like that. So it is very important nowadays, because I really believe that your personal pain or any social pain can be released with the help of jokes, with the help of comedy. But this year, and maybe last year, so now we have a new period of time when everyone is very easily offended. You can offend everyone for everything, for anything. You know what I mean? I don't know what the situation is in South Africa, but in the whole world, in the US, in the UK, and in Europe and Russia, it's almost impossible to predict.
I'll tell you why it's impossible. The reason it's impossible to predict is because people will find a reason to take offense. I feel like audiences, particularly on social media around the world, Dave Chappelle has spoken about this. I know Amy Schumer's addressed it, where they go, we know as comedians that every joke offends somebody. But it's never our intention to offend anybody, but very much like you're saying, Igor, to rather use comedy to facilitate uncomfortable conversations in a very respectful manner, and use comedy to kind of take that edge off and allow people to often, I think comedians get away with saying things that other people wouldn't be allowed to. But at the moment, even comedians are terrified to say anything, because people will take one line out of context and use that one line to crucify you for no reason. And it's probably you, the people that are watching now. Some of you are guilty of this thing. You go on social media, you go on Twitter, and then you find a tweet from 1974, and then you bring that tweet up. So So I know that you run, and is it a school? What is it? The Igor Meerson, is it the school of comedy? What is it called?
Igor Meerson is a school here. Yeah, 3 years ago, I've launched a comedy school. It was very interesting experience, because stand-up is a very new thing in Russia, really new thing. I'm from the first wave. I remember 16 years ago, there were 4 comedians in all the Mother Russia.
4?
I was one of them. 4 comedians.
Okay.
I'm from the very
the original. Were you number 3? Number 2? What number were you?
I was maybe number 5 among those.
You were number 5 out of the top 4.
Yeah. But then we made a TV stand-up and some other TV shows with some stand-up bits are going on and still in Russia TV is very influential.
Yeah.
And when the young generation, young people, they watch TV and they think that stand-up, they hope that stand-up is kind of a, we call it, I don't know if there is such a word, such a phrase
yes.
in such
give it to me
in English, but we call it a social elevator. Do you know what I mean?
Perfect. That's great. That's a wonderful description.
You understand what I mean? Yeah. Some poor cities, poor small towns, not enough of education, not enough of opportunities for your career. But they think that being comedians, it's easier to make a career, to make money, to make everything.
Yeah.
So I, as one of the first comedians, I have this right, have this possibility,
opportunity,
right, opportunity to gather some new comedians to teach them because stand-up comedy for sure is based on your talent, but also it has some rules. Comedy writing has some rules because as a script writer for the full-screen movies and for TV shows, I know that there are some comedy rules. So it's easier to knowing these rules. And I thought that comedy is so popular now, so trendy. I thought that I'll get hundreds and thousands of students.
How many did you get? How many did you get?
Unfortunately, not so much. But I was really surprised that lots of people, really hundreds of people of other professionals, they came to take our stand-up tools to use it in their public speech. Some business speakers, you know, PR, HR, top managers doing conferences, doing pitching.
Did you have a module on people taking offense and how to not offend people as part of the rule? That's what I want to ask about this school. Did you have?
Oh my God, no, I don't have like something like that, but I have an opposite one which solves this problem. I have a model about self-irony, self-deprecation.
Yes, I'm a professional.
At the moment, it is the most harmless, the most the safest type of comedy. When you are joking about yourself, no one is offended.
Yes, they want that.
Your wife, maybe your wife, your mother, and your dog. That's it. You're round of.
You're right. You're right. I mean, look. So I love that you've enjoyed South Africa. You've done comedy in.
Oh, that was really fantastic experience.
Which and we are devastated that COVID has meant that we couldn't have you back. But I know that we will have you back, you know, because the world will make a comeback, because that's what we do as human beings. I do have
Russia has this vaccine at the moment, so just give me a couple of days.
But the World Health Organization is not yet given the ticks. Do you think that the vaccination is legitimate, or do you think that we're taking a risk?
For sure, no.
You know, because I saw Vladimir Putin going, no, this thing is fine. I've given it to my daughter. If I've given it to my daughter,
yes, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. I gave it to my daughter. That's my favorite. He has too many daughters to try. Yeah.
Here's my question. What has been your favorite part of COVID-19? So everybody's talking about the stuff we've lost and the stuff we've had to sacrifice and what we couldn't do. But I think that in these times, so much opportunity was to be found. Like, for example, us doing things on digital and us recording, you're recording in Moscow and I'm recording in Johannesburg, and yet we are in the same room, and our energy, I can feel your presence. And that for me is a massive takeout, because it's brought me closer to so many people where you would think it would separate us. What has been your favorite thing?
Absolutely, you are absolutely correct. I'm really not an IT person, not an online person at all, but this quarantine just made me a person like that. Talking about my stand-up school, I made my online courses, and now I'm able to teach guys from the US, from the UK, and from all over the world. So I'm happy to do that from my house.
Igor Meerson, Global School of Comedy. Global School of Comedy.
But my personal experience is even more interesting than common experience.
Tell me.
I've been on my vacations in April. I've been to Bali. On Bali, Indonesia. You know, Bali, the island, Indonesia, yeah. And then Russia just has closed the borders. And I've spent with my family 4 months on Bali instead of 2 weeks. Instead of 2 weeks, I've spent 4 months because I had no chance to come back home. It was so funny. There was all the other countries, they took out their citizens and then they closed the borders. Russia has closed the borders, and that's it. And that's it. We've got 4,000 Russians on Bali, and so Indonesians there, we were like gods for them, because we were the only profit for the hotels, for the restaurants. Only Russians, all the island was ours, you know, like soft power. How do you call it when you take someone's territory?
No, we don't talk about that. We have a sensitive history with people taking territory.
We don't talk about it. We always do.
It's very sensitive for us.
Talk about that. We are not talking about that. We do.
I appreciate that. How did you? Because before we move away from Bali, because I thought about that. So, I mean, I do a radio show and I interviewed a lot of people that were stuck abroad. And therefore my question is, when you are planning a holiday, you're also planning your budget. And then if you're going for 2 weeks, you try to have 2.5 weeks worth of budget, just in case your family sees something nice and they want to buy it.
That's true.
How do you stretch a 2 week, how do you stretch a 2 week budget to 4 months? Who paid for the 4 months?
Very good question. So very good question. Because first of all, it wasn't only about living, about having an accommodation and some food for you and your family, but also nobody gave us our payment for the flights back. So even we had to get money for new flights, new tickets, for full price. But we had no idea when this new flight is going to happen because Russia has closed the borders for everyone. It's a very good question. First of all,
how rich are you, Igor?
So first of all, I'm not so poor. Then the second answer. The second and the very main thing is that this situation made me an online person. I started to do my courses online.
In Bali.
And my wife is a stylist, fashion stylist, shopper and stylist. And she also started to make her style master classes and all that stuff online. So we started to work there on Bali because we just wanted to survive, you know. And the most funny thing, let me tell you, the most funny thing because we were waiting for some financial help from our government, from our state, but we got nothing, and we were really upset because in Russia we have a very, very, let's say, huge money reserve fund.
Yes.
which is made for this this type of emergencies.
Yeah.
But no, they decided it's not enough. Worldwide pandemic, very dangerous virus, isn't
That's not
good enough.
not a big enough emergency for us.
No. And I had a joke that what can be a reason for them to use this money reserve fund? Maybe when our government members are out of their crystal champagne stocks, maybe something like that. We'll let them finally use our money reserve fund. But the very funny thing for me was in Bali, when I was on a marketplace, and a very nice lady there, she told me, it's good you are stuck, you are locked here. It's very good. Because I've watched the news today, and I know that your president, Vladimir Putin, has released 500 lions on streets to keep people at home. 500 lions. And it was so funny. Because I did a small internet research.
Yes.
And that this news really exists. I was laughing, 500 lions. We don't have any lions. Just to let you know.
So it was fake
Russia
news, obviously.
And no food. Fake news, obviously, we don't have any lions. Okay, if you want to play on stereotypes, then you can say bears. You know, if you want to play on stereotypes, you can say bears. Russia has released hundreds of bears.
Russian bear.
Okay, it's not okay. But lions, we don't have any lions. And I thought, then I realized where our money reserve fund is gone. We bought 500 lions.
Bring Igor back? No, don't give Igor any money. Buy lions. My question to Bali, lions, to end of Bali is this. Knowing what you know now, right? Would you have preferred to be at home when the lockdown came, or were you happy in the end that you were in Bali, in this magnificent, beautiful place?
I was truly happy there, and I'm upset. I'm at home at the moment because really I love my country and I want to be near my family, near my parents. For sure, I want to be near them and close to them. But as we don't have any shows here, as everything is closed still, it's good to be on Bali. Even now, I prefer to spend 7 months on Bali doing my online job. You know, why am I here sitting?
Could be in a nice place, doing nice things with nice people. Come on, I agree. Igor, I appreciate you taking the time because we know that you are phenomenally busy. Thank you for being part of the Lockdown and Loaded comedy show. We can't wait to celebrate you live, my brother. We want to wish you and your family the best. Be safe, be well. And I'm glad you had a 4-month holiday while the rest of us were stuck in our own houses. I'm glad. I am glad and I'm jealous. And in closing, please, I want to learn to say your name like your family says it. So Igor Meerson. Meerson, is that?
It's also impossible for your foreign mouth.
No, try me.
Let's try.
I've got a professional tongue.
Try okay, me. I believe in you. I believe in you. Look, so the world's famous pronunciation of my name is Igor. Yeah. But it's very, just listen to this. Okay. Igor, it's a caveman, not Igor.
Very nice.
Igor. No, it's not. No, Igor, it's for me, for my ears. Igor is like a caveman from the forest. His grandfather is a bear, you know. Igor. But in reality, my name is pronounced with the very, very soft last letter.
Okay.
Very, very soft last letter, which is Igor.
Re. Igor. Re.
Igor. You hear? Igor.
Igor, Igor is much sexier than Igor. You're right. Igor.
That's true.
And the surname?
Sounds like as if I'm Spanish. Igor. Yeah.
In fact, don't even teach me the surname. Igor.
So my surname is very easy. Okay. It is written in English. Yeah. Not really correct correctly with 2 E. So you pronounce it as Meerson.
Yeah.
But just let's pretend that between these 2 E,
Yes.
there is Y.
Okay.
So my name is Meerson.
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 Yes.
Igor
Igor Meerson.
Meerson.
Very good.
I thank you very much. Igor Meerson, coming to you from Moscow. Thank you very much. That's it. Thank you so much, Igor, for being with us. Lockdown.
Thank you, my friend. Such a pleasure to see you again. I hope to see you again live.
I cannot wait, my brother. I cannot wait to share the stage with you once more. And as I said, I wish you safety, I wish you health, I wish you wealth, and I wish you all of the nice things. Be well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. See you soon.